Sumona, take over whenever you want to take this off.
Right. Okay, good evening, everyone. We have 15 people in the house today, and we are in the third week now of our various sessions, 16-week session that we have planned for ourselves. The first session was around brand, followed by a masterclass. Second was around the product and the competitive landscape. And today we're looking at very interesting subject of product market fit. There have been some excellent reading material that has been put up. I hope you've gone through that, and we are all looking forward to seeing what the different products really look like in terms of their value add to the market. So let's get started with the first one.
Sure. Okay. I'll start now. Thank you very much. So first, I would like to introduce the product again so that we have better clarity and going forward. So we are helping you breathe clean for your better health. And we have introduced world's first air purifier for AC that can fit on top of your AC, just like a crown for your better respiratory health. In a minute of installation, with no power connection required, you are protected against PM 2.5 and germs, and also makes your AC more efficient because internal filter won't get clogged. Tested at IIT Kanpur National Aerosol Facility and IIT Delhi. Uh, the product market fit, regular interactions with our customers is helping us to find PMF. We feel we are close to PMF, which gives us confidence to say we are solving the right problem in the most cost efficient and convenient way for our users. With the simplest product, only one benefit, no feature, there is no electrical component, there is no on off button even in our product, right? No SKU. There is nothing like different product for different ton of AC, or for different brand we have different SKUs. So no SKU, no feature. Also, we know now our drawbacks, and we know what the next version of product will look like. So only because of customer interaction. And how do we know our drawbacks? So first, what we do is we do thorough sentiment analysis of comments on influencer videos or ads that we run. So basically, you run ads or influencer videos for awareness, right? So that's help us in adoption barrier. That what are people thinking, which is stopping them to even adopt our technology. Then second, what we do is we thoroughly analyze our website queries. So this helps us to figure out what are the reasons of confusion for any potential customer. Third, what we do analysis on reasons of product returns, which help us with understanding reasons of early disappointment with our product. And then customer feedback after 2-3 months of usage, basically reason of long-term disappointment. So this is helping us to figuring out what a product with a right PMF can look like. Then signs of product market fit. First, multiple customers have bought our product to reduce air pollution for their health, because one, ease of use, ease of installation, and cost benefit. So these are some things that we are constantly uh, getting as a feedback from our customers why they have bought our product. Customers articulate how they feel the difference. Although we have been saying them please buy our air quality monitor, but they say नहीं, हमें समझ में आ जाता है कि air is now is better, so we don't want that. So they can feel the difference. They can sleep better with no smell coming from AC, and they can see that there is lower dust on the table, on their wardrobe, and in the room, and hence they have to clean lesser. In terms of word of mouth, many of our customers have told us we, we usually don't talk about ACs with our family. So no, I don't recommend or talk about your product. Only in some cases we have seen that where there is disease transmission happening within children. We have seen, yes, there is word of mouth happening that okay, I bought this because my doctor said कि AC की हवा खराब है. Maybe उसकी वजह से आपके बच्चे को कुछ तकलीफ हो सकती है. So in those cases, yes, we have seen word of mouth. Some concerned users, I will consider that still as an outlier, that some concerned users do refer it to their families. वो अपनी पूरी family में बता देते हैं, and that has happened with us. And what we saw that we got some doctors And when we connected with them, तो उनसे हमने पूछा कि सर आप बताते होगा किसी को हमारे बारे में, तो कहते कि नहीं, we don't talk about this in our families, but whenever I get a patient, I do recommend it to patients who do have some kind of respiratory illness. We have reached out to around, we have total of around 15,000 plus customers. Database is around 2,500. We have actively taken their reviews, but I would say interaction would be of almost 200 to 300 users or via call. So this is it. Thank you. Happy to take any questions. And I've gone through the material that I shared. It was super helpful.
That was absolutely wonderful. Um, yeah. Sorry, my voice is echoing, but this is bang on 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes. So, is it better now? I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, just 5 minutes on the dot. And questions, comments?
Okay, I think it was a very good, crisp, to the point discussion. Ravi, it would have been slightly better if you had given some very specific, pointed examples. Okay.
Okay.
For this discussion, it would have been very, very helpful, because then the perception or the recall can be much higher. I don't know why. I'm also echoing, right? Okay.
I think somebody has a mic up.
That's all from my side.
Noted, sir. And we do have a lot of examples. Would be happy sharing, but okay, I'll keep that in mind. I'll add this maybe in next presentation.
No, remember, you will not get that sort of time in the final demo day presentation, because there each sentence will count. The more you give specific pointed examples in the presentation, it will help the recall. Suppose you say, I've got 23% of market share. That is much better than saying that I've got a quarter of the market share. The number hits a person. That's a pointer for you for future. That's just an example, but keep that in mind. Thanks.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Can I quickly take a few minutes?
Sure.
Okay. So one, I would say that the script was very crisp and your delivery was very smooth. But it could have been made better. Number one, when you say product market fit, we are not just talking about how the customers react to your product. Okay. So you could have had a slide saying, since the last 5 years, the air pollution has gone up high in Delhi. India has 10 of the most polluted 25 cities in the world. Respiratory problems cause so many percentage of population face from respiratory problems, which could be avoided if you have a mechanism to clean the air. One slide with that. Okay, so basically, when you start developing a product, when you get an idea from this, right? And then you develop a solution for that. So one slide with that would be very good. Then you come about, then you introduce your product, and then you say, okay, we tried, so many people have bought our products, and this is the response that we have from them. You can say how many people, you mentioned that you have been tracking social media or you've been tracking your customers and they've given you some negative feedback, from which you've learned and you improved on your product. So those are things that you could possibly put in one slide. Try to avoid narrative like, long sentences. Just put that, numbers over the percentage over there, or an icon. because when your audience sees that, they will immediately remember what you're saying. Okay, so you have a narrative and you have the PPT as a visual aid for that, right? And
Yeah.
then you could also see if there are any other players in the market. There definitely should be some other players, and you need to compare with them. Okay, so those are things that need to come into product market fit. Now, very important that you need to understand is you need to understand that your initial traction will not define your long-term marketing strategy. Okay, so in the future, when we talk about marketing strategy, sales strategy, that is something that you need to put in. Otherwise, overall, very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Maybe I should have started from the start and then taken it to this point. I tried doing that, but I think, okay, yes, I'll
Don't do
improve
it. Don't do it. You'll come to that. This is just the first couple of sessions. You'll improve on that. Okay. Right. Thank you.
Ravi, I had a question. So I joined this in between. I'm not sure if you already covered this. How do people distinguish whether your product is working or not? And how do they uh, compare it to other products that, this is working better and that one is not? Do you have some indicator or some product feature which
No,
quantifies that or helps them?
no, we don't. That's what I was saying, that we do have air quality monitors which people can purchase. Air quality monitors inherently are expensive. Although ours is the lowest one, but it is expensive, and that's why we try to urge people to purchase air quality monitor and see the difference themselves. But what we have seen and what people as a feedback from our customers is they can feel, and that's why I've kind of made it in italics, that they can feel the difference with better sleep, no smell, and lower dust on the table and in the room in general. And that is why they say that, okay, I don't need an air quality monitor. I know this works. Also, the change in color of the filter, although
Mhm.
they don't do it, but we do send a message that please do check the color of the filter, and we do send a color indicator that how it will go black, and you should then change it after anywhere between 8 to 12 months. But yes, some people do purchase air quality monitor which make things easier for us, but we wanted to play at a bracket of around 2000 rupees, 2500 rupees in terms of selling price. So cogs, etc., keeping that in mind, if we come up with the monitor that has air quality monitor in that, it would cost anywhere between 4000 to 5000 rupees.
On a
So have
different,
you?
on a
Yeah.
different, just a second. On a different note, you can easily say that one of the ladies said that her husband's snoring is less dramatic now after using this.
Yes, वो nose blockage वाला points भी
Yeah,
काफी लोगों ने बोला है. So yes,
correct. I mean that will actually help stick within a person's mind. Anyway, that's just a humor
story.
point of view. Yeah, exactly.
So, Ravi, some closing comments, like, yeah, you have gone to the right methodology to establish you have a product market fit, but as everyone is saying, some kind of voice of customer cloud instead of being verbose here would have really helped.
Yes.
Okay, you're doing sentiment analysis. Can you classify them and then present this here? The other things, in fact, look, in other context, when I looked at your charts and I went through them today, I was just wondering that there is so much more material to establish your credibility. I'm not sure why you don't make them part of your deck. So there was some, maybe they're not proven. So there was some technical certification about how much you are able to filter and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Again, I'm
Yes.
not the best guy to understand, but somewhere when you're talking about your product, not talk about it. And every
Okay.
time, again, maybe not really a context of product market fit, but you probably
Credibility.
know those who've got multiple patents or a license to those patents,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
As we move towards further here, this whole question of uh, what are the barriers of entry and all that will start coming in. So that factor, you're actually a replacement solution for purifier and few other things. So keep that in mind when you are representing each of those things.
Yes, sir. These are very valid points. Yes, sir.
So these points are applicable to everybody, not Ravi. This since his was the first presenter, वो बलि का बकरा बन गया, but it's true for everybody. So just keep this in mind. More from that point of view. I think I'll take one last question and then we'll move to the next one. Otherwise, we'll run out of time. Okay.
Yes.
One last point.
Yeah. So, Ravi, I was interested in knowing that there are two sides of product market fit. One would be you segmenting the market, and then accordingly, at different versions of your product. So, what are your thoughts on, like, have you observed any trends that for this particular segment you'll be adding this feature, for that particular segment you'll be creating a different line of product? So, any patterns you have observed?
Uh, yeah, for different segment, for example, yes, we have for
Hey,
segments.
you don't have to answer the question. That's just a point for others. Keep that in mind. We'll move
Okay.
on. We'll move on. Otherwise, we'll be very late. We'll move on.
It's almost 20 minutes with the first presentation, but it's good that we've at least got the ball rolling, and I hope Divya is ready with the Artivus.
Hi, this is Kumar here, co-founder at Artivus. I'll
Okay,
present.
Welcome.
good, Kumar.
I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, Kumar.
Good evening, everyone. This is Kumar Pritham from Redfind. Do you know that on an average, 15, an individual makes around 15, buys around 15 clothes in a year? However, the shopping experience, while it may sound fun, it is usually a lot time consuming and tiresome. That's because of there's so many options, a lot of brands, a lot of stores, a lot of choices with same products available at different prices. That's where the red find comes in. To solve this problem, our research has showed that 70% of the users juggle between different sites and spend almost a week to find the product that they want. With red find, we are looking to make that from 1 week to a day. With the various choices of products, the stores and brands, consumers find it hard to discover the right product that they want to buy at the right price that they can pay and from the right store that they trust. At the same time, brands are struggling to be visible to the customers which are relevant, which are at the right stage of the buying journey. At Redfind, what we have done is we have created a unified view of product across 100 of stores and 6 million products so that our users can discover the product of their choice. Not only the users will discover the right product, but we help them make the right decision as well with our intuitive and sophisticated search and our AI-driven personalized recommendation. We further incentivize them with the rewards if they shop through us. Our value proposition is very simple. Redfind uses advanced AI to help online shoppers who want to simplify product search and discovery to find best deals customized to their unique preferences quickly by offering the most advanced product discovery platform, ensuring they never miss a better option, unlike current shopping alternatives and Google search. Our ideal customer profile from the user side is those who are value seekers, who are frequent shoppers, and fashion conscious. From our brand partner side, our ideal profile is of all sizes, but looking for driving customer acquisition, market expansion, data-driven insights, or if they're looking for some solution, AI-driven solutions for their customers. We have got a great momentum from the user's point of view. We have 2 lakh monthly active users, and in last 6 months, our repeat users has increased from 7% to 20%. We have clocked 10 lakhs monthly sales through affiliate channel. And from the brand side, we are getting a lot of proactive leads coming in. If we run an ad for a week, we get hundreds of brands who are interested to get listed on our platform or to avail our advertising services. Currently, we have 10 brands who are advertising on our platform, and we've helped them double or triple their traffic in the last 6 months. To further improve our presence and establishment in the market, we are working on both the sides, on the user side as well as our brand partner side. For the user side, we are learning a lot more about our users through the analytics that's built into our site. We are getting a lot of feedback, and that is helping us to drive a lot of experience recommendation or experience modification. We are also using the network effect through our cashback and referral program to improve our user reach. For the brands, our ultimate goal is to help them improve their sales. And hence, we are working on building that personalization engine, which will increase the conversion for all the users who come to our platform. So it will help brands not only to get the users to discover their brand, but also to get the sales. Thank you, and would be happy to have you explore our product.
Thank you, Kumar. I think that again was on the dot, on time, 5 minutes. I have some comments, but I'd be happy to take the comments from the panel first.
Sure.
Go ahead. Hey, audible?
Yes.
Can I go ahead? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. It was a crisp presentation. A couple of big points. I think you're presenting it first time today. And the same I wanted to say to Ravi also for earlier. I'm glad to see you had a psychographic segmentation, value seekers, and 2 more categories that you had. So when you are doing these activities to increase your progress to product market fit, how are you doing differently for each of these segments? Are you doing the same things in equal proportion to all these segments, or are you doing these things differently?
So this serves all 3 brackets, all 3 audience segments. The kind of offering or the value proposition that we have, it appeals to the fashion conscious as well as the value seekers because of the capability that we have built in our product. For example, value
Not the
seekers.
value proposition. I'm talking about, you mentioned 3 activities that you are doing, user experience and XYZ that you are doing, right? So are you doing everything in same proportion, same items to all the segments, or each segment you're approaching differently? The results in each of these segments are different as because of these activities. So it's just a point for you to think about and then maybe build on it further in next presentations.
Yes. So we are currently focused on value seekers. I mean, that's because of the kind of brands we have partnered with. They are not premium, but these are the brands who appeal to the mass audience. So, but
for your organization, especially, you will have members which can be really potent. I mean, what proportion of your current customers are and monthly active users are these value seekers, and what are the trends in terms of engagement, retention, or whatever in these value seekers? And because of the activity that you have done, then within that, what is the progress, right? I mean, whatever is your segmentation,
Right.
So that will be helpful, not at an overall level. The same feedback I wanted to give to Ravi and others. I mean, we see that you are seeing signs of moving towards product market fit, but first biggest step is segmentation of your customers. I mean, what is a crisp segmentation that you're doing? Right? Without that, talking about it in 10,000 feet level will not help.
Okay, point taken. Thank you.
Right. I think we have Gautam next.
Kumar, I
Hi.
heard. Thank you so much. I two questions and is I think Tirumala asked that. I don't know whether you answered it. Is do you track how many people are repeat customers to your or loyal guys, or is just every time is a new user? So that's one aspect to know whether product market fit is appropriate only when people keep coming back to your website. So that is one thing. And second thing is, I think I don't remember, maybe later on you have to estimate the market. Is it appropriate enough for you to be in? I mean, is it like a really small market? Is it a big market? At some point in time, you have to see. I mean, we are talking about 1 billion or we're talking about 1 million. So that I think just a suggestion for you, which you have already probably done, is the initial guys who did this was the car comparison sites and the property comparison sites, etc., etc. So just see if there is something to be learned from there. Just a suggestion. Maybe not, maybe yes, but just a thought.
Sure. Thank you. Can I comment on that? Just respond
Sure.
on that. Yeah. So on the repeat customers, so we have 20% of repeat customers coming in. So that's a good sign. And an average in e-commerce industry is considered 20 to 30%, which is considered good in e-commerce industry. So we are there. And in terms of in terms of our market size, it is huge. It is in billions. And if you look at the US market, there are many successful brands who are there. And in India, it is like of Google's shopping. But
so
we
Kumar,
can
just a supplement to what you said, what Tirumala said, just remember that if out of your 20% repeat, how many are the value guys and why are they coming? So why are these 20% coming? And is there a way that you can enhance it to 30, 40, 50, whatever? Just analyze that. So that's all.
Sure. Thank you. That makes sense.
Yeah, so we have two more people who want to ask questions as Rajiv, and there is it's good that the questions are coming. We spent 20 minutes in the previous group, so we just need to be keeping our questions very brief, maybe one question and per panelist, and then later on maybe offline, or we can have some more questions. Does that seem okay?
That's fine.
Okay, so yeah, okay, Rajiv.
Hi, this is not a question. I just wanted to make comments. It is nice to see that Preetham has, made a presentation today, and I would encourage everyone to at least have the second team member also practice presentation. Kumar seemed to be a little bit out of practice, but if he does it a couple of times, he will do it well. So it is very important that on the demo day we have a backup and everyone is prepared to make a presentation. So alternately, at least once in 2 or 3 weeks, if the second co-founder comes and makes the presentation, be good. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rajiv. Sanjeev.
So look, not one, but 2, 3 quick comments, Kumar, and don't need a response to it. I think numbers were fine, but if there is a time context to it, how old are you and the 2 million active subscribers, active users you acquired over a period of 3 years or 3 months would help in it. Really knowing and time context and trends, right? Which way they are moving over last 3 months, 6 months will really make your story better. Number 2, I keep hearing the value seeker, and I went to your website in last few days, right? I felt like Rohit had probably pointed out last time, you get to see products on one page, but you miss out lot of details on one page. So if there is a value seeker, he probably wants to see what kind of offers and prices. He sees the price, but he doesn't see the offers. So I had to actually go from your website to another one to figure out the offer. So that figure out those things. Rohit had pointed out delivery timeline. So few of those things could become essential for a user. And that's my next comment. More than active users, probably get some user feedback in whatever form you can gather to see if you're addressing all segments that way. Yeah, active users, euphoria is fine, but are they really finding the product worthwhile? Maybe just, yep.
Sure. Thank you. We will do that.
Thanks, Sanjeev. So we have Yati now.
Yeah, so hello everyone. Welcome to week 3. So this session was actually very challenging for me also, because I do not have this lots and lots of user data, because we are kind of a pre-revenue company, but
Can we
we
put it in
have some
presentation
pilot
mode,
data.
please? I'm sorry, can we put it in presentation mode, please?
Right, sorry. It's better?
It's in presentation mode.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so it was a bit challenging for us because we just have few users data. We do not have lots of user data. So like our analysis is a bit subjective and qualitative. So I will begin now. So yeah, so just a one-line intro. So Fabiosis makes antimicrobial hospital supplies for infection control in patients. So the challenging part was that how should we measure product market fit in such a category? So being early stage company, we just focused on two things. So like what are our users and what are our customers saying? So our users are basically patients and our customers are hospitals. So like we have got pretty strong positive reviews from both our users and as well as customers, because due to the value propositions that they are getting. And we have also got very strong referrals, which is that is the metric we are following. So whenever we go to any department, we pitch to any department, I tell them that okay, this is good for you, but how about other departments? Can you refer me to other departments in your hospital as well? And I'm very happy to say that almost in more than 90% of the cases, we get referrals to other departments. So that's how we feel that we are approaching this product market fit. So the question is, have we achieved it or not? So we feel that we have achieved it because it's a bit subjective right now. And why do we feel it? Because patients are actually going beyond the hospital to purchase our products. So there is one incident that I would like to share with you, that there was one patient who was actually admitted to AIMS Trauma Center, and his like organs were sort of wide in the open, and he has just undergone surgery. And his brother actually reached out to me. Somehow he found out that there is one infection control sheet that you can purchase from this Fabiosis, and the atmosphere and the environment that of the AIMS Trauma Center was not too much hygienic. So he reached out to me and he purchased directly the bedsheet from me without going to the hospital. First he asked that, do you supply this kind of bedsheet to AIMS? I said, no, we have just done pilot, but we have not sold it to them. So he purchased it directly for them, for his brother. And there was also second cases where a patient who was like bedridden for the past 3 months, someone had told them that Fibrosis makes these kind of bed sheets, and he reached out to me because due to the getting bedridden, he was getting all sorts of infections on the skin. So that's how we purchased it. And we, in the first case, we didn't actually charge the patient. In second case, we actually charged the patients. So that's how we felt that patients are actually reaching out to us for these kind of products. And also when we pitch to these doctors who are the HODs of the department, like we pitched one hospital uniform, and doctors who are actually interested to buying the product for themselves, they said that it will provide them personal protection. They told me that if you go to the hospital, it will take a long amount of time. So like you continue that, but before doing that, just sell it to me. I will pay you directly. So in one case, we also did that. That's how we found that doctors are also trying to adopt our products. So yeah, so these metrics actually we followed, and we found out, we sort of felt that we had achieved this product market fit. And referrals, as I told, that departments are other referring us to the other departments for the purchase. Yeah. So what steps are we taking to achieve this product market fit? So honestly, when we sort of trying to create a new category, the education is an important critical component in our category. So that's what we did. We constantly try to create education and awareness among our customers as well as users. And to find this product market fit, we actually talk to a range of customers. We talk to multiple nursing homes, we talk to small hospitals, and we also talk to large hospitals, because we knew that this product has use in our this product has demand in our users, but we didn't know that what is the channel of least resistance so that these products can reach our users. That's why we talk to multiple nursing homes, small hospitals, and large hospitals. So finally we found that everybody has some pros and cons. In large hospitals, in surgery department, there is a huge demand where there is a strong product market fit for our case. So here are some incidences I will also explain. So of course, multiple customers are trying to buy our products for similar use cases because multiple departments are trying to purchase our products. We are not sure that how the product actually makes their life easy for our buyers, because our buyers are actually hospitals and our users are patients. So we are not sure about that. We are still investigating that aspect. But our product is actually expanding to multiple teams within our organization because multiple departments are referring to each other. We are also shocked to see in some cases, for example, in Dr. RML Hospital, we pitched to one department and we were surprised to know that our product samples have reached another department. And they told us that, okay, I know that you have come to this department and pitched it to us. And this product is very great. And we also want to adopt it in our department. So that was a new thing for us. And yes, our customers actually in different industries are also using for similar use cases. For example, right now we are trying to deal with one hospital uniform manufacturer. So he's supplying hospital uniforms in Hyderabad, and we are in the process of tying up with an exclusive license to sort of a technology transfer thing, so that they can supply these uniforms in Hyderabad. Yeah, and of course, as I said, that our customers are willing to be our references, and they are also referring to other customers. Yeah, so these are some of the signs that we have got. So yeah, a little bit qualitative, but yeah, that's it.
5 minutes, excellent, Yati.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll start with some questions. Yeah, I thought your presentation per se was good compared to the previous 2 weeks. You were on time, but I'm a little conflicted about the fact that, you know, if large hospitals, especially the surgery departments, are seeking this and their infection rates are very high, I don't know whether you should be providing them the sheet or whether you should be reporting them to the police, because you know, it just doesn't make sense. And if you say large hospitals, surgery departments need these sheets because the infection rates are high, I'm not able to you know, take that as a correct feedback you have got from your customers, or what kind of customers you're looking at. If you're looking at a smaller, say, you know, very local clinics, or in you know, the lower serving the lower economic status people, you know, one could imagine that, but larger
Right.
hospitals, sorry, it just doesn't gel. And the second point I had out here was that it's good that, you know, there is referrals from one doctor, one HOD to another HOD, but have you also tried approaching, say, the group medical director or similar of like large hotel hospitals, who are then able to share all the specs of your product with all the HODs, and then they can take a collective view, or you could maybe be selling it at a larger scale?
We are still in the process of trying to do that with one group director. So
Okay.
we have not yet used that approach, but we will try. Also to comment on that, see, in hospitals, there are some things that we cannot say wide in the open, right? For example, last week or last week, Sanjeev sir asked me that this infection rate you are telling of this 33%, right? Is it true, or is it like overly exaggerated? So as I told him last week that I have been filing these what do you call RTIs, right? RTIs to different hospitals to get that infection control data. So now I have received multiple RTI results. So that actually matches with what I am claiming here in the presentation. So actually the infection rate is quite high in hospitals, but they do not like publish it outright. Yeah.
So infection rate high in hospitals is very generic. Just be very specific since you have the data. Maybe you're looking at government hospitals. Maybe you're looking at certain particular sections of society that these hospitals are catering to. I don't know, but we just need to be a little specific.
Yeah. So there are segments in that category also.
Yeah. Right. We have Kshitij. I should not hog all the time. We have Kshitij as well. So Kshitij, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks, Mona. Two quick points, Yati.
Yeah.
First one is, do you think you have achieved product market fit or not? So I think it would be good for us in our presentation to not take the state of product market fit as a binary answer. Yes or no will not directly tell our progress, right? So I think we should rather break it into, like, I think this is feedback for all and we can think over it, break it into low product market fit, medium product market fit, or high product market fit. And we need to somewhere we need to mention what exactly do we mean by product market fit in our context. So if you look at the third question, what steps are you taking to achieve product market fit? So here we are asking what steps are you taking, but I think we should construct this answer from the other end. What are we missing from product market fit? And then we should answer this. And I think that way the story would align well. Who exactly are our users? How are we tracking product market fit? Where are we? Is it a medium product market fit or a high product market fit? What are we missing and what steps are we taking? So when we say we are talking to a range of customers, spreading awareness, it means that these thing that is stopping us from PMF is education or awareness, right? And so when we are stating this, we need to be 101% sure that this is exactly what we are missing and there is nothing else that we are missing to PMF.
Okay, but don't you think that this is quite of a strict thing? Because how will I know at the beginning कि भाई मैं ये चीज miss कर रहा हूँ? मतलब मैं तो discover ही करूँगा ना?
Exactly, you will discover, and but when you write it on a presentation, people would assume that you would be knowing, right? So either we change our language to such a way that we can tell that this is what we have found so far. But what I mean is that the whole approach should be a discovery approach only. Like these 2 points shouldn't be enough, right? Definitely there must be something which we do not know about, and that should be indicated in some manner.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah, this was from my end.
Thank you.
One big point I will add here, Yati. See, I mean, for others also, we don't achieve product market fit across our whole TAM. TAM might have many segments, large hospitals, small hospitals, clinics. We are not expected to achieve product market fit everywhere, right?
Right.
So, and when you're talking about, okay, yes, that yes is applicable where, right? That is very important to subcategorize it, like the segmentation that we talked about. And
Okay.
the goal, I mean, yeah, and I have a slightly different take compared to Kshitij on product market fit. If you really have product market fit, if any startup is seeing the takeoff of product market fit, they would know, their metrics will talk aloud. Otherwise, it is no. Don't delude yourself that you have product market fit for your own good. Right? That's my take. You take whichever way you want to, but I'm just saying nobody achieves product market fit across the whole TAM and all the segments. So you have to narrow it down to where is the most critical pain, where are you relevant, and there are you seeing increasing engagement, increasing traction. Is there a bigger size to it or not, and all that.
No, I completely agree, sir. I think I have missed to pinpoint that segment here, because while talking to you, while explaining to previous questions, I've already mentioned, but I should mention here also, because there are departments in the hospitals where we have talked to, and they said that no, this product has no use in our department. So I know that there, of course, there is no product market fit for us. Yeah.
Why does a knife cut? Because it has got a focus. That's what we are driving at.
Yeah, I just have one small point. See, I've seen a few reports about uh, infection and hygiene in hospitals, and trust me, I've seen this report for very, very well-known hospitals in USA and Europe also. So I think those kind of studies are also something that you can use in a presentation when you talk about PMO, because that validates that, okay, there is a market for such a product. But as Tirumala and others said, segmentation is very important. Everyone in the hospital cannot afford your product. So it is basically those tiny segment in the hospital who can afford your product, which and those who may be forced to afford your product because of the kind of infection or procedure they have gone through, that they will buy your product. So it is just a segment that you need to, even if you have in this hospital case, I think if you have about 5 to 7% of the total market as your focus segment, I think you have a huge TAM over there. But this is something that you need to also, talk about in your presentation. Thank you.
So, sir, I will include that, those secondary literature that you mentioned.
Thanks, Rajiv. Are there any other questions? Otherwise, we'll move on to FuseNax. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Let me start the slideshow. So, good evening, everyone. So, at Fusion, Fusion is a no-code platform meant for building simple web apps without any coding in very quick time and at very low cost. So, SaaS founders and small businesses are using Fusion instead of running after expensive developers. And this way, they get to minimize their upfront costs, use their startup capital efficiently, get some traction, and validate their products. So Fusion offers a very comprehensive set of no-code tools for building web apps. It also offers very strong, robust third-party connectors and AI-based AI integrations for generating code, customizing their apps. And we've also created a code editor which lets our users edit the code which has been generated by no-code tools and AI. So it gives them total control over what they're building. So when we look at the competitive landscape, it becomes very clear. We are narrowly focused only on SaaS products. So we don't have versatility like Bubble. So on Bubble, you can build lots of many different things, but on Fusion, you can only build SaaS apps. But that narrow focus also makes our platform very simple and very quick to work with. So our ideal customers are SaaS founders and small businesses, as we already discussed. And in most cases, the business owners at these organizations are the decision makers. So now the important slide for product market fit. So I'll present some numbers to show you what we've been doing over the last few months. We started doing sales for our no-code platform in November last year. So it's been roughly 8 months. And so far we've received positive testimonials from 70% customers. We've retained all the customers, but it's a very short. Just judging it on a few months is not very good. But all the customers are with us, paying customers, and we have referrals, positive referrals from 30% of the paying customers. And in terms of product market fit, I'll say we are on our way there. So we have, I think, in terms of product features and functionality, we have figured it out. The major feedback from customers who don't convert is our UX is not as smooth as compared to some of the established no-code platforms like Bubble. So and we are, it's a very new platform. So we are still working around our way to documentation and videos. That's the feedback that we get most from our customers who don't convert. So that's what we have to do as we move forward. We have to work with that feedback and improve our platform. So there are some positive signs that we have referrals from 30% of the paying customers. If you look at the last 6 months, we have been improving the product functionality, and app development time is half of what it was in January of this year. And we are getting repeat order from majority of the customers. So these are some signs that that show some progress. So I think that's it. I'm happy to take questions.
Thanks, Pushkar. It's good that there are people who take less time, but I am expecting some questions. Some hands are raised already. There is Tirumala and there is Kshitij. Tirumala, would you like to go first?
Sorry, it was my previous hand. Sorry.
Okay, Kshitij
I'm
is there.
pulling it
So
back.
Kshitij.
Yeah, thanks. So great slide on product market fit, I would say. I just had one question and one feedback.
Okay.
I wanted to know how big are these customers?
So these are it's a mix. Most of these 15 are SaaS founders. So we have launched 15 SaaS products on our platform. So these are like just idea stage, early stage startups. They're just getting started. Some of them are monetized. Some of them are still struggling to do it. But these are very early stage SaaS companies.
Got it. And what use cases they are exactly accomplishing by Fusion?
Okay, so we are helping them build SaaS products in quick time and at low cost. So we are building their whole product. So when we build any app, it's whole full-fledged product. So in terms of use case, we become like their backend tech team. So they take care of the functionality and sales and business, and everything tech falls onto us.
Got it.
Falls
So
onto Fusion. Yeah,
in one way, Fusion is helping them with the core product, right?
exactly.
Got it. Also, can you go 2 slides back? Basically on the table that you had shown for
Yes.
competitor. Here, I had a suggestion since versatility is not in your favor. I think you can either remove it from the metrics or you can change it to focus or simplicity, something like that, where you get a higher point than the others. So that will be easier to read for the user,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Yeah, actually, it also reflects that this is our philosophy that we want to. It's a trade-off. We are happy to trade off versatility to make our platform much easier, so that those users who want ease of use, who prioritize ease of use, should come to us. So that's why I've kept it here. But thanks for the suggestion. We'll definitely think over it.
Yeah, sure. This also sounds good, what you just said. So you can definitely think over it and then make a decision.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
All right. So there is Rohit.
Yeah, so my question is, are you a product company or a services company? Because you
Right.
mentioned that you help develop,
Yes.
the startups come in and then you help them develop
Yes.
their app or their product. So
So
just a quick question here.
yes, yes. So in the long term, we are building a product company, but in the short term, when SaaS founders come to us, some of them are happy to tinker with the platform and try to build something, but many of them need some help. So even if you look at all our competitors, anyone who signs up on Bubble looks for a Bubble developer, or someone who signs up on Shopify looks for a Shopify developer to build their early version of the product. Right now, we don't have that ecosystem. Right now, we have not got around to building a community of developers. And till that time, we are happy to fill that void. So right now, I think for the next few months, we'll be offering services. But as soon as possible, we want to hand it over to other freelancers and build a community around our platform.
Yeah. So the reason I asked this question is because there are two very different kind of models and profitability models, pricing models, etc. So if you go to a customer who says, okay, I want to use, another, let's say, low code development platform, then will you develop software for them or not?
No,
That is
we
the
don't do
services
that.
model. Yeah.
We
Okay.
don't do that. So we
But what
only,
you can,
if
yeah,
someone wants help or to develop on our platform, we help them.
yeah, yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Okay. I just
Thanks.
thought I had this question in mind.
Okay, Rohit, thanks. Kshitij, you have, sorry, Tirumala, you have a question now? Or is it
Yeah, I have one.
this one?
No,
Okay.
I have one. So on this slide, when you say ideal customers, last time we spoke about who exactly is your customer, right? I mean, once they have already founded the company, then they become your customer, or before founding, when they are still thinking about starting, they're the customer. What are the subsegments in this? I mean, uh, are they college graduates or still, these are like senior corporate professionals who want to start, and who are, I mean, how do you further dissect your target ICP?
Right. Ideally, it would be anyone who wants to start a software as a service business, who wants to build a web app. It would be anyone.
No, this
But
is not ideal. This is your ICP. This is not your TAM we are talking about, right? We are talking about who is your ideal customer that you're going after and for who you are building those specific benefits.
yes, so in most cases, these are some experienced professionals who have, let's say someone is coming from pharma background and wants to start a CRM for pharma. He has maybe 6, 7 years of experience, and now he wants to monetize in some way. Someone who's a consultant with some background in e-commerce, and he wants to monetize that. So that those are the people that we're helping. So that's the demographic.
I think it will be very helpful to categorize that, right? I mean,
Yes.
find those attributes and go deeper in that.
So what
Sure.
you described, Pushkar, basically meant someone who has some kind of a domain expertise,
Domain
and
expertise, yes.
he's using your
Yes.
tools to create a better tech solution in that domain, right? You're not
Yes.
looking at freshers coming up with
Yes.
when Tirumala said college graduate. Then I think this is a good push. This will help you
Yes.
figure out who the right guys are, and as we move into sales module few weeks down the line,
Right.
really approach and qualify your leads. Well, every time I talk to you, you said I was overwhelmed with so many customer conversations,
Yes.
right? And you probably are, because you're not qualifying it well.
Yes.
You're going today and talking to each customer. So if you are able to do that, I think this push from Tirumala will really help you in figuring out whom to go and talk, and whom say thank you, and just send your video.
Yes. No,
Right?
definitely it helps. Yes. Thanks.
Pushkar, I have one quick question. I understand that you say that SaaS founders and small businesses who want to start up and who want to build their MVP can use their tool, but I still do not get, like, why do you not equally focus on businesses that are already running, but they do not have the bandwidth to equally support other use cases, especially for internal dashboards and all? Like, I think that is a much bigger market, and
Yes, that is a bigger market. That is a more competitive market, because in that case, we don't only face competition from no-code platforms, but there are also likes of Zoho to compete with. So that's why right now the focus is on, I mean, the value creation seems to be better, working better for SaaS founders. That's how the product is built, and also that's an underserved niche.
okay, got it.
Yes.
See, that's why this question relates back to the product versus service. So I think what you're doing is you're going to customers who cannot build their own team, who
Yes.
don't have the investment capacity or who don't have the bandwidth to build their own team, and you go and you're building that app for them. But in the process, you're developing your product, a low-code platform, right? So because if you were going the other way, which is saying that, look, I'm going to build the best low-code platform, then your competition would be very different and your market would be very different. If you're saying that I've got a market where people don't have the capacity, let me give them a service and the product, then that becomes your kind of offering. So that's what was confusing me, because if you take it as a product, then your investment level and your competition is totally different. Then you compete with established platforms, right?
Yes. Yes, so that's yes, exactly, because this is very heavy competition. The established platforms are quite heavily funded, basically. So we in order to get there, we need some kind of early revenue. So for that, this services that we are offering is a bridge to get there. But in the long term, what we're doing is we are building a platform.
Yeah. So starting with the segment that you're starting with, it'll take you quite a lot of time to add features and functions to the product, which will make you be able to compete. So I think you are in a services business, and then you are trying to build a kind of a good product, which will then kind of, you can expand your market from with that. Because if you were starting as a product, you would look at this business very differently.
Yes.
So I think your in terms of your profitability model, your revenue, your people who are helping the company develop the product, you need to expand that number of people. Your recruitment needs to be there. That's how you will grow. But if it were a product, you would say that I'm giving this product, and now, either I have an ecosystem or the client builds it themselves. So you don't get into recruitment of people. You just don't get into the management of that side of the business. Or it's much lesser. In your case, I would think it's about 50-50, the product development and the implementation part.
Yeah, right now, yes.
Yeah. So, you need multiple skills to run a services business with a product. And that's, I think, just my implication was.
Yeah, those are great insights, Rohit. I think, yeah, we will probably have to give the floor now to Ashwini.
Hello. Hi, everybody. I hope you can see my
Hi,
screen.
Ashwini. Yes.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, hi. So I'll start. Hi, I'm Ashwini, founder of IntelliAssist. So at IntelliAssist, we are solving, what we call the 97% problem for e-commerce, which is basically, the 97% of the visitor on the e-commerce websites are anonymous users. And typically they don't even, click on the, checkout button. And it's very difficult for the business to know who are these people, why they're not buying. And most important, increasing this number. And because, increasing this number directly impacts their profitability. Now, what a product actually does it's a plug and play product which sits on the top of their website. It analyzes visitor behavior in real time and interact with the visitors. And so our product has a multiple UX component which is controlled by a decision engine, AI decision engine in the back, which interacts with the user depending on what they're doing on the website, and push the user towards the checkout journey. And so, for example, these components, some of them could be, building the trust, showing social proof, reviews, giving them an offer, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So I'll just jump to the competitive landscape. So again, our target market is mostly in the US, and that's why now we are there. Mostly there are three different dimension of, and it's not a new market. It's a personalization is an old market, but again, the technology and the process at which companies like, for example, there are companies like Dynamic Yield. It's about 10-year-old company, but they use mostly cookies in the personalization and mostly work in the enterprise side of it. Then there are companies like Salesforce, Marketing Cloud's personalization, which again, very complicated to, configure and all, and really expensive. They charge upward to $100,000, as a starting fees. And then there are companies like Format Commerce, which are the newer entrant, which is pretty much, a direct competitor, which are mostly working on the cookie-less personalization, basically the newer technology, AI and all. And if you look at the competitive landscape, you'll find that our competitors are heavily funded, or their competitor, and to be the future competitor as well. So we'll have to come up with really great product, in order to crack into this market, especially if you are targeting medium and large size US businesses. So that is how we defined our go-to market. So we built our MVP first. So for MVP, what we did was we launched it in India because we wanted to go get initial feedback and want to be nearer to our initial customers. So we tested our product with 8 Indian brands, and 4 of them were paying within a month of implementation. We worked directly with the business owner for the inputs and to understand the problem deeper from their side. And see, the most important metrics in this business, and the metrics which we target is ROAS, return on ad spend. So we were able to improve the ROAS by 20 to 100%, because some of them were really small ones. So we were able to even double their ROAS. And that gave us the confidence that, we are really good enough to launch into the US market. So we launched into the US market, to, explore the further product market fit. So we launched in US, and about almost around 1.5, 2 months after launch, we have now 2 customers in the US. One is already paying. And for the customer who is paying, we have improved their OS by 30%, and we are saving them about $12,000 a month, and charging them over $1,000. And so what we think is that if we are able to get 4 more such customer, in a different brand categories, and able to achieve upward of $1,000 of MCV. MCV is monthly customer value. I think we'll be really close to the PMF, and that is what we aim to do in next 2 months. Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Questions?
Thank you, Ashwini. Your 97% problem is stuck with you. So yeah, I don't have any questions right now. But is there anybody who has questions on this? No questions? So that's
I have
100% no
one
questions.
Just
No,
sorry, go ahead, Tadula.
no, I'm just surprised. This is the third presentation that we are doing. For a performance marketing oriented company, we still don't see segmentation of your customers.
Segmentation. So see, we have a very clear segment. It's like D2C brands, which we are looking into. So do you want to further verticalize into the D2C brands?
I
No,
think
it's not
that is
about
what
what we
is.
want. It's not
Yeah.
about what we want. I mean, how deep you want to go about each of the cohorts or subsegments.
That's what I'm saying. So you can segment your customer across the geography, across the domains. So we are very clear which geography we want to target to. Even started with India because US is a competitive market, and that's why we first launched in India, so that the product should be good enough to even initial consideration. And so US D2C commerce mid market is our target customers. I think I explained it into the last presentation as well. And if you look from the revenue perspective, we are looking at any business who is doing north to $1 million yearly sale. So $1 million to $50 million is because after above $50 million, it becomes more like an enterprise business. So that's what we are targeting in the US.
Perfect. I mean, it makes so much sense when you give a shape to it, right? I mean, D2C, US mid-market,
Yeah.
particular revenue category, and then maybe further into what sort of industries or, where are you able to add value quickly, or maybe what do they expect from competition? What is their current state today? Some of these things might help.
Yeah, definitely. So as we move further into MVP, we will be able to hopefully figure out which segment, which verticals we are able to, we'll be able to move faster. So for example, it could be like, consumer goods or kids or, whatever the category is, vertical of e-commerce, we'll be able to, hopefully we'll be able to understand.
Yeah, today you may not have data to present it, but you might present your thesis.
Got it. Understood.
Rohit, you're next.
Yeah, just a quick comment this time. My experience with saying that a product in one market will work in another market, and I have a little bit of experience in that, is that you need a lot of changes. So I think you guys need to be very, very clear. If US is your target market, then I think you need to build a product for the US. I know, so I think, you're building here, you're trying to do it as an MVP, but
Rohit,
the whole, sorry. Yeah.
Let him complete.
Let me just go back.
Yeah.
Let him complete.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I was just saying that that's a risk you need to think about. And if you're going for a product in the US market, then it has a different investment and profile, and you need to go to different customers, while India is totally different market here.
Absolutely. So you're right. So we built our product for the US market only, but we tested it initially in the India market because it should be, because if I'll go on talking from the first principle, the platform which we are targeting is Shopify. So India and US both has the Shopify as their most popular, e-commerce platform. So for that place, both countries are same. Second thing is, the traffic sources are mostly Meta and Google, where we have done deeper integration. So for that side, from the technology, from the platform perspective, both countries are the same. But still, we are very clear in our head that we are targeting the US market. The only thing is that, you cannot go with your, MVP and just launch into the US market being a startup. It's expensive to launch into the US market and, being business development and everything. So before we got our first person over there, we made sure that we are working with 8 Indian businesses. 4 of them are paying, so that we have a confidence that we can talk to the US businesses and, work there. So that was the approach. We are building it for the US market. We are very clear in our head, and that is how we are, changing the product and improving the product as going forward.
Yeah, that's fine. That is just a comment because just I've had a few experiences of India and US.
I you are absolutely right about that.
I think, Rohit, we probably need to do some. This is more a question to the IIT startups team itself. The thing is, there seems to be some amount of startups who are really looking at US market, and is there some way what our core team can work towards in building that bridge, and see if we can help our startups bridge that gap between India and US, and see how we can integrate that and take it forward. I mean, that's a thought for all of us. And I think we probably need to think on how we can work on that direction. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Anjanda. I think it's time now for the next one. Vishwa, Sharan.
So today I think Mohit will be taking over the presentation.
Okay. Mohit, the floor is yours.
Yeah, hi everyone. Good evening. Let me just share my screen. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep.
Great. So hi. Let me just quickly recap.
In a presentation mode, please.
Cool. So let me quickly recap what Vishwa.ai is. So the problem statement that we've started with is around data entry. So we've known that customers, companies spend hours in data entry. From our first-hand research in working with companies, operations teams spend 1 to 4 hours digitizing different kinds of documents and then converting it into required formats. These documents are documents like invoices, menus, even financial data, forms, different kinds of documents that need to be digitized, even in medical domain as well. What this leads to is broken customer experience. The longer it takes to digitize, that's the life cycle where these companies and customers are sort of waiting for, let's say, just a menu to be digitized or the invoices and the next steps on the invoices. And then the third problem is the comparison of these documents amongst each other. Just for example, when a restaurant is trying to update its menu, just comparing whether they've added a dish or changed the price, or if they've sent in the updated invoice, which line item got added or changed. That's a very hard problem, as well as reconciliation of financial data, which is a very common problem. Think GST reconciliations, invoice reconciliations, payments reconciliations, different kinds of reconciliation process. So that's the overall problem statement that we are tracking. The product or the solution that we are building at Vishwa is to work with any kind of document. And there are 2 core features of the product. The first one is intelligent document processing. You take any unstructured document and convert it into the format that the user wants. And then the second is intelligent differentiation capability, which is we have a version of a document and you're trying to compare and figure out what changed and then move forward with that, including reconciliation across different formats. So that's the product. So from our value proposition perspective, what we want to build Docs AI is to help the operations team who digitize, convert, or transform these unstructured data into structured formats by completely automating the process and thus reducing the manual effort required to do these tasks. The principles that we are following and the persona that we are targeting, essentially from a purchaser versus user perspective, is the operations teams that handle these data entry tasks, as well as on the comparison side or reconciliation side, the accounting team, CAs, VCFOs, who are responsible for this kind of data reconciliation. The way that we are envisioning the pricing is a subscription-based model, and we are projecting an average ticket size of about $850 a month. The GTM is not enterprise sales. We are expecting product-led growth because the ticket size is not large. Thus, we are building towards marketplaces, extensions, content marketing, SEO, as well as affiliate partnerships. The life stage of our company currently is what we'd call in the product development phase. So while we have launched and we have initial traction, we are still working on building our product with our alpha customers. So the product market fit, if we talk about it, it's sort of way too early for us to talk about product market fit. But here are the forward-looking metrics that we want to track. And for the question that sort of Tirumala has been asking in terms of segmentation. So the first offering that we are sort of going to go to market with, which is sort of fairly mature, is, let's say, the menu digitization offering. And the way we go to the market is try and capture the entire market, US, UK, Australia. We already have an Australian customer, and India for menu digitization, and go through this life cycle for that segment. And then second would be invoices across domain. And we already have POCs going on in the pharma domain and the like. Now, the metrics, talking about the metrics itself, because it's product-led growth and not enterprise sales, it's sort of classic user funnel on the website, on the site. And it's almost supposed to be self-serve, where we track how many people we are able to get to our websites, the signups that they're doing, the conversion to the paid user plan, and then to be able to retain it. So these are the core 4 metrics. And then for each of them, the business metrics that are of relevance, that's going to tell us whether we are achieving product market fit is at what cost are we able to bring the customer in, the customer acquisition cost, however we are advertising on these different very expensive channels of SEO, SEM, we are competing with a lot of folks. And then once they come in, the lifetime value of it, where retention plays a huge part in terms of how long are we able to keep the user, the customer on the platform, and what is the revenue that we are able to generate with them, and then a healthy metric, which is obviously CLTV over CAC ratio of more than 1 makes us profitable. So that's what we are gonna aim for. And given the life stage of the company, we don't have a view of where we will land our and in our CAC or lifetime value. So that's the stage we are in. I'll stop there.
Okay,
Thanks,
before anybody else, I have a small comment to make. How many of you were there in Sony's presentation and branding? Just raise your hands. How many of you were there? The reason I'm asking this question is, in today's session, I'm not seeing the branding coming out on your home screen, one. I'm also not seeing that branding coming up on your slides. So please understand the reason why I had kept that session right at the beginning, so that you start internalizing it and taking that on your presentations in future. It's very important for you to look at the branding, because when the demo day comes, we would like to see that the branding is firmed up, it works, and it has a shape which will make it work. So please keep that in mind. Today in this presentation, I don't want to make any other comments, but this is drab. This is not interesting. Okay, I need to see Vishwa.ai somewhere on the format screen of this one. And this is true for everybody. Please keep that in mind. Thanks so much. I mean, others can take their specific questions on this.
Thanks, Anjanda. I saw a raised hand, Sanjeev.
So look, Mohit, I was a bit struggling with your first use case, right? Maybe I'm missing it, but I was not able to sort of appreciate that. Is it an ongoing problem for a restaurant or whoever is trying to do menu digitization, or is it a one-time problem? So in that context, how does a subscription model to get paid works, kind of a stuff? And I'm raising this question now because, as you said, you're sort of pre-revenue, just trying to market that. And the second question I had was, in the same context, how long have you been in the market with this use case?
Sure.
I appreciate the second use case you are going to work on, because being a old finance background, I really appreciate that use case. But this one, I'm just missing it.
Got it. Yeah. So I think my bad in communicating it. So the restaurant menu digitization, and the customer is not, there are two channels. First is the restaurant POS provider, point of sale provider, who are servicing restaurants. So it's a B2B to B use case, where the POS providers have thousands of, tens of thousands of restaurants. So we have the largest POS provider in Australia, and we're the largest POS provider in India as our paying customers. And they have this problem of onboarding the user as fast as possible. So that's one. The second channel essentially is platforms like Square, where the restaurants themselves are doing onboarding. But the task that takes them time, and thus there's a friction, is for them to be able to digitize the menu. They have a PDF, they have an image, but they're not able to do that. So these are the two
Yeah, but
types
then
of customers.
will that be an ongoing problem?
Right. So the menu digitization for the first time is limited, but the menu updation is a very frequent problem. So for the POS providers, for example, the team size.
POS, I get it now, Mohit. I'm just saying, for a restaurant or a website or whatever, will it be a big problem on an ongoing basis to pay your subscription? Just take this comment, think about it, and look at it, because I really don't think it is, but if it is, wonderful. I mean, you will judge as you go to the market, right?
Sure.
Thanks for that. Gautam, you're next, and then Rajiv.
So, Mohit, I have a comment for you and maybe some others also. You know, the thing I struggle a little bit, and what I've learned in my past is that, you know, you need a quick big win. And so you need to be really sure about which target you want to choose. Now, you said data entry, you said financial data, then you said restaurant, then you said medical. I think you mentioned all of them. And I understand everybody has a problem. But, you know, what is, in my mind, more appropriate is that even if everything is appropriate, you decide which one is appropriate today. So in your phase one, if restaurant and the product in this form is appropriate, that is what it is today. And then phase two, maybe when you make changes or whatever. So I think it is a journey, because if you say that your market is all segments and your product is suitable for all segments, then I go back to the comment made by a previous speaker, I think earlier, that the money should be just flowing in, because if the product is fit, market is fit, all you have to do is just reduce the price and just sit tight. So obviously it is not. So I think just a case of prioritization, and this is a suggestion to all the other people also, that don't try to boil the ocean. Just because one of the things you need is, you need a quick win, you need to survive, then you need another win, then you need to grow. So think about it from that angle. So let me just stop.
Sure.
Very aptly put, Gautam. Very aptly put. I think that is not coming out in most of the presentations today.
Thank you.
I think I just wanted to. I had a little bit to say, but most of what I wanted to say has been said by Sanjeev and Gautam. I have set up hospitals, I set up hotels and restaurants. So I understand the requirement in those industries. From where I see it, I don't see this as a long-term future in that industry. I mean, there would be a niche area, it may be there. But at the same time, as a technology, I think there is a potential in the market. Now, what you need to do is you need to broaden your vision for the product and you need to communicate that. Like Gautam said, you can start from restaurants, you can start from hospitals, but then it should lead to a larger sustainable market. Okay. So what you need to do is you need to talk to more people, experts in the sector, try to understand the processes, try to understand the gaps that they have in their process and in the solutions that they have, right? And then you'll come out with a lot of ideas. You need to broaden your vision, and you need to, at the same time, you need to focus on the segments in the market.
Got it.
Very tough, but it's doable.
So
Thank
one
you.
input that I would solicit from the group, for example, yes, we've been talking to a pharma distributor for invoices. We've been talking to a fintech company, or rather fintech company trying to create a travel portal for their catalog enhancement. So where there are different varied use cases, the way we are envisioning the platform is we should be able to solve these problems very fast. And the challenge that has been always thrown on us is whether you want to take, whether you are a restaurant menu digitizer or you are a horizontal platform. And that's where we are sort of in our journey to understand that our belief right now is with a horizontal platform, we should be able to do a very good job in each of these verticals as well. And that's where we are sort of like, we don't want to be the menu digitization company only. We don't want to be just the pharma invoice digitization company. We want to be a company which is app of apps, a suite of apps, and is able to do a lot of these digitizations very competitively, very accurate.
Classic case of pivoting your vision.
Yeah. So Mohit, then I think what you need to look at is your strategy, right? The strategy, the greater strategy of your business, of your company as you go forward. That is something that you need to focus on. I think we can talk about it later offline. Yeah, thank you.
Right. So I think that's where we are at in our journey in terms of our vision is to even have sort of a suite of apps. Docs AI itself has a lot of things that we are focusing on currently, but then we want to go to, let's say, content AI, which is towards marketing, and then support AI.
Yeah, I believe Rohit has a quick comment to make, although I think...
Yeah, do we have the time?
I
Otherwise, we can keep it for another time. Yeah, let's move
running out
on.
of time, but a quick one, 10
No,
seconds.
Rohit, please go ahead.
Yeah. No, so, the question that you asked for the group, that should we be a horizontal platform or a vertical? I think eventually our experience, and we've tried some work with Doc AI as well, is that it's vertical. Because, so let's say you're trying to do some document digitization. So one thing I was not clear in your presentation is, are you extracting data from documents? Is that the AI that you're using, or are you taking a document and making it digital, physical document, and just making it digital? But assuming that you're extracting information from documents, clients have very specific uses of the information.
Right.
And you need data, right? So you need multiple number of documents to process before the machine actually learns. So going to different verticals, getting all of those samples, it's not samples, actually, it's much larger. I think that may be a more difficult proposition versus taking one vertical and going there. And the clients have different needs at the front end. So it's not just about extracting data, but what they use it for, how it's consumed.
Got it. Sure.
So just a comment here on the question that you had.
Thanks, Rohit. That was really insightful. I think one Mohit will have to give the platform to another Mohit now. So we have Ms. Zink coming up. Yeah.
Hey, hi. Hope everybody is able to see my screen.
But not in presentation. Yeah, okay.
Just getting that. Okay, thank you everybody for taking the time. Just to recap, at Mezink, what we do is we deliver guaranteed influencer marketing outcomes to brands using the power of AI across the influencer marketing life cycle, helping brands get 3x to 10x better ROI on their spends. We currently operate with more than 50 brands across 6 countries in Asia: India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, and UAE. Coming to the problem that customers face and why we exist in the first place. In today's time, influencer marketing is a fairly big channel for brands. With Google ads and Facebook ads becoming more expensive, brands need to look at alternate channels through which they can build awareness, grow their presence, and reduce their dependence on these expensive channels. That's where influencers as a channel becomes fairly big. In Asia itself, it is expected that influencer marketing is a roughly $26 billion industry, growing at about 20% year on year. And Asia itself is just about 30% of the total global pie, right? It is also expected that in the future, most people will discover new products via social media, right? So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whether it's fashion, whether it's music, whether it's food, these channels are the ones which are being leveraged by brands to power discovery. To do this or to harness the power of social media, you essentially need to rely on a network of influencers. But when brands engage with influencers, they typically have to go through these 5 stages. And at each stage, they have a problem which they need to solve. First is finding the right influencer. Typically, brands will struggle to identify the right influencer who they want to work with, especially when they have time constraints. Second, once you have figured out, okay, these are the set of people I really like, how do you evaluate them? There are a lot of fraudulent accounts, there are a lot of fake followers, there are a lot of people who are not authentic. So how do you weed out those kind of profiles and find the really good ones? Once you have done that, you need somebody to activate these influencers, especially brands who work at scale with maybe 100, 200 influencers on a weekly basis. You need to onboard all of them, coordinate with each of them on the brand guideline, messaging, the scripts, the video drafts. You need to handle all their compliance. You need to onboard them onto your systems, which is a nightmare for brands. Once you have done that, once you have got the videos created, once you have got them posted, you also need to measure the impact of those campaigns. In today's time, that is done via screenshots. Every influencer will send you a screenshot of the performance of their content, and the brand will then have to tabulate all of that, putting in manual effort over in this entire exercise. Last part, specifically for countries or companies which are present across countries, they struggle with onboarding influencers in multiple geographies because in every country there's a separate loop. They have to follow compliance, which makes the process very, very tedious. So at Mezink, we solve all of these steps with the tech and the product that we have built. On how to find the right influencer, we have a AI-powered discovery engine, which helps you identify the right influencer. If you have a set of people that you have worked with, using that, we can find lookalikes, which are similar in terms of followers, reach, persona, gender, country, language, right? Which just reduces the process of finding new influencers. If I get a good example or if I get a good seed, we can find a list of 100 to 200 influencers which are relevant in just about an hour. Then we have built evaluation engines which use predictive analytics to identify what is the potential impact of a particular influencer. This also helps us eliminate all kinds of frauds and poor quality profiles. It also helps that we are developer partners with Meta, TikTok, YouTube. So we get real-time first-party data from these platforms directly. Then we have an AI content intelligence engine, which helps us identify the right scripts, the right hooks to get the maximum reach or get the maximum ROI for any particular influencer. Apart from that, we have a platform which helps brands orchestrate or activate multiple influencers across multiple countries simultaneously. On the measurement front, we have built products which allow the entire reporting process to be automated. All we need is a set of links of the posts that have gone live. We upload it to a platform, and in a matter of 10 minutes, we'll have a full slide deck which talks about the entire campaign, what are the insights, what went well, what did not go well, right? And the last part, we are able to handle payments across multiple countries. So we have entities in about 5 countries at the moment. With a single agreement, a brand can activate influencers in multiple countries. They can just tell us what they need to do, and we take care of everything else from there on out. Currently, in today's day and time, brands have just 2 ways in which they can work with influencers. Either you have self-serve SaaS platforms like Grin, Upflow, Creator IQ, etc., or you have agencies like One Impression. Now, if you look at each of the steps I just spoke about, right? Both these current tools fall short. When it comes to finding influencers, a SaaS platform will only give you a database or maybe contact details. Agencies are limited by the rosters that they have, and hence brands are limited in terms of options they can access. Second, when it comes to evaluating, no platform at the moment offers predictive analytics, which helps you predict the impact of a particular influencer. Similarly, when it comes to activating, agencies, of course, activate manually, limited roster, limited influencers, they can do that. But SaaS platforms just don't do that. They will give you a list. Now it's up to you how you activate those influencers. Measurement again, some platforms have basic functionality which will tell you the likes, comments, but nobody will go deeper than that and tell you exactly what the campaign performance was. Agencies don't even have tools. They just are limited to Excel sheets, screenshots, WhatsApp. Payments again, SaaS platforms have absolutely no role, and one impression or agencies like that have a limited role to play, but brands are responsible for making the payments and onboarding influencers. This is where Mesic comes in. We help brands across the life cycle, sort of acting like a player which is a mix of a SaaS platform with our data AI capabilities and giving the white glove service which a top tier agency might be offering to these brands. So with our models, you find the best fit influencers. With our predictive analytics, you are able to predict the impact of a particular influencer. We orchestrate activation of influencers across multiple countries, geographies, languages, industries. The payment is, the reporting is completely automated and in real time. And payments are a very simple thing. A brand just pays us and then we handle everything else from there on out. So to summarize, Mezing is an AI-powered influencer marketing solution that helps consumer-facing brands who want to build awareness using social media and creators by making the entire process of influencer marketing predictable, consistent, and scalable, unlike talent agencies or self-serve SaaS platforms. Moving on to the product, here are a few screenshots. This is how the discovery engine looks like. We use about 50 data points to evaluate each profile. If you put in any search term, for example, you want influencers talking about food in Nashik who speak Marathi, we should be able to pull up a list of about 30 people in about 5 odd minutes, right? This is the evaluation engine. So there are a bunch of metrics on reach, engagement, which help us assess every profile, and we're able to commit to certain outcomes that we deliver to brands. Reporting, integrated reporting. Yeah, integrated reporting. So there's a report which gets generated in about 5 minutes, and all of it is automated in real time. Our ideal customers are brands across consumer-facing brands across Asia. Buyers are typically brand marketing or social media teams. The buyer is typically a brand manager, a CMO, CEO, or a founder in case of startups. And for us, our visionary customers would be iconic customer-facing brands like Unilever, P&G, Apple, etc., etc. Coming to PMF, so we measure PMF using 3 main things. What is the month-on-month revenue growth, which is the North Star for us? What is the share of referrals we are getting from our existing customers, and how much organic traffic we are able to generate on our website and on our supply side app. So on the demand side, we are growing about 20% month on month, and we just touched $1 million in annualized revenue in June. None of our high value customers have churned. More than 50% of our revenue on a monthly basis comes from existing customers. Existing customers have referred new customers, and they have also expanded across geographies. People from India expanding to UAE, people from Indonesia expanding to Malaysia, etc., etc. We have very strong feedback and reviews from our existing customers. On the supply side, we have our app to onboard creators, which gets installed with zero CAC. We are not running any ads or anything, just by word of mouth that it's driving traffic. Our website gets about 50 million monthly visits and has a domain authority of about 80. Right, this is just the trajectory that we have been on. Just crossed $1 million annualized revenue in June, aiming to go 15x from here in the next 10 to 12 months. A snapshot of our website performance. We have about 72 million backlinks, 82 domain rating, and we get about 50 million monthly visits on our website. So just to summarize the questions that were there in the deck, right? So do multiple customers buy our products? Yes, across industries, across markets. Are buyers able to articulate how we make their lives easier? Yes. The product has expanded to multiple teams in an org across geographies, across brands in the same company as well. We have customers across industries. We are doing retail, pet care, logistics. We are doing fintech. So it's a very industry agnostic use case. Customers are references. They are referring new customers and helping us grow as well. So that's about us. Happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Mohit, and thanks for, congratulations on hitting the 1 million mark.
Thank you.
Is there some provision for, a party from the startup if there is hitting a 1 million or more mark? Okay.
Good point.
Sanjeev has some questions. Sanjeev, please go ahead.
So Mohit, again, I don't know the industry well, how it operates. So maybe my question is not appropriate, but look, when you say customer-facing brands, right,
Hmm.
and the brands could be of various size, right? Now, is it that all those brands today typically goes to folks like you to do directly to influencer marketing, or my experience with larger brands was that they would first go to their promotion agencies and advertising agencies and things like that, and probably hand over their own whole budget to them and operate that way.
No, so fair point, Sanjeev. There are two types of players in the market. If you talk about large players, let's say if you consider the example of an HUL. Now Ogilvy handles the entire budget of HUL across the region, right? If you want to access HUL, the best way would be to go via Ogilvy, who might allocate a small portion of that budget.
So I've made my point that the reason I've raised this, Mohit, was to say, okay, look, our partnerships with these agencies or these agencies are your channels to sale when you said visionary customers, I see this name, but your direct approaching them may not yield results. So
It'll not.
keep that in mind.
Yeah, it'll definitely not read.
Fair point, but we have just to add on to that, what we realize is these agencies, while they're good at a bunch of other stuff, this is an area where they lack expertise. To give an example, in Southeast
I'm not
Asia,
disputing that, Mohit. All I'm
No.
trying to say is they need partners, and you could be their partners. So
Fair,
for
fair.
you, they are your first point of customers at places. Like in my
some
IT
places, yes.
industry, I'm a system integrator. So for a lot of people, I was their customer first before the end customer. That's the
Sure.
same analogy I'm trying to draw here.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. For some customers, they'll be the gatekeepers.
So that's the reason I just want to keep saying, yeah, your user could be customer-facing brands or a brand own manager, but your buyer could be somebody else. In large
Point
situations.
taken. Point taken. Complete valid point.
There's Gautam who has a question.
Yeah, Mohit, I have a question, not a question, actually, I'm also trying to understand well. You know, what it looks to me like is that whether your product means once you found an influencer, do you have to find a new influencer all the time? So your 50% repeat, you said, I'm assuming it's from the brands, but are they looking for new influencers all the time? So that means you have to dig a new well. So that is something to be thought through. Or is it that once you have found a particular influencer and matched it with a brand, like A to B is matching, then you have a way of increasing revenue from that relationship over a period of time? So that is second comment. The third comment I wanted to ask, and just trying to increase my understanding, is that when you are going to look for brands which will help you go to influencers, I am assuming there is a specific type of demographics which goes through the influencers, which may be the young and the people who get, I mean, I don't think people of my age will ever use influencers to buy anything. So I'm sure you're taking care of that, but this is just some thoughts, if you have any response.
No. So let me address those one by one. One, is the same influencer used multiple times by the same brand? It depends. So it's highly dependent on the campaign brief that they have. At times, if an influencer does well, we may re-engage them for the same brand for a different campaign. But if the campaign brief changes, of course, we have to find new influencers. There again, that's not a problem because every day you have a new supply of influencers coming in, right? So one big part of what we do is when we say we evaluate or we find the right influencers, right? We continue to build up our supply pool. And as long as we have the right demand, we have the right brands, building supply is not that difficult because we are the ones holding the money, right? And once we have the money, and for most influencers, 80% of their income comes from brand promotions. And if they know that we are the ones through which they'll get access to the brands or get access to that money, they have to work with us, right? And we have worked with everybody from, let's say, a person with 10,000 followers all the way up to a movie actress in Malaysia, right? In India, we are just about to do something with Dhruv Rathi and Varipu, right? So it's getting supply or getting influencers on board is never a problem because we are the ones holding the money back. And that's what we're always aiming towards. On the second question, on the demographic, that while a bigger chunk is the younger population, but depending on brands, there are certain brands where the target audience is a slightly older demographic, right? People with in the age of about, let's say 40 to 45, 50, 60. Especially true for some fintech brands, especially true for some regional content players, right? But yes, majority of it is still tilted towards the younger demographic.
Yeah.
On a different note, what is the origin of your company name?
So we were just brainstorming. This is just a way to say amazing link. So amazing link, if you sort of shorten it up, it becomes amazing.
It's definitely memorable. Yeah. Tirumala, you had a point, and I have a point later on, but please.
Yeah. Now, one quick question is, I mean, you might be covering it later on, not for today's session, but would be curious to know your roadmap for 1 million to 15 million, whatever you are targeting, right? And I would also be curious to see how much of that you are planning to be coming from influencer marketing for your own brand.
Didn't get this again.
That's a googly. That's a googly.
No, so if you're saying, are we using influencer marketing?
No, if it is relevant for you, I mean, it's not that you have to use.
No, we will. It is relevant. We are already seeing results. We will activate a bunch of influencers, but ours is a B2B use case. So it's a slightly different customer set, but we will activate people on LinkedIn and Twitter over the next quarter.
Yeah, I mean, when you are presenting to customer or an investor, if bulk of it comes from your own influencer marketing approach, there is no better authentic pitch to what you are doing, right?
Yeah.
So, Mohit, I had a couple of questions coming from having worked in an ecosystem where you're currently serving, which is, the consumer-facing brands. If you look at, say, the Unilevers and the P&Gs, others that you have mentioned, there was a time, and I'm just thinking aloud, there was a time when the marketing department had really huge budgets, but right now the budgets have been diverted to the sales functions only because that's the kind of rationalization that has happened. Do you see that happening in your customers as well? That's one question. And the other is that, your geos are very interesting because I see a mix of both emerging and developed economies out there, and but mostly emerging economies. So how much do you think of in terms of scale can you achieve with these consumer facing brands and with reduced marketing budgets in emerging countries?
Got it. On the first part, while the overall budgets might be getting trimmed, what we are aiming for is at the moment an experimental budget, right? Every brand has a budget. Every brand which is trying to be relevant in the Gen Z ecosystem, trying to be relevant to youngsters, is willing to experiment or try out influencer marketing, right? So while there might have been cuts on the other sides, we haven't really felt that. The brands that we have been working with, the spends have in the 6 months that we have been working with them, the spends have in some cases tripled or quadrupled, right? Based on the results that they see. Not really seeing the impact, but maybe as we grow bigger, maybe as we scale, we'll start feeling some of that impact as well, right? Number two, on the geography mix. So we are primarily focused on Asia at the moment. We're not going to expand to the US or Europe or any of these countries. And the mix that you see is, we started with Indonesia because we were familiar with that market. From there, organically, we went to Malaysia because a lot of brands are common. India, again, similarly, via referral, we started out, right? And that's how the entire process grew. For the next phase of growth, we'll be looking to go deeper into these markets. So, for example, in the Middle East, we still have to unlock Saudi, Oman, Bahrain, Qatar, all huge markets. India, we are not even scratching the surface. At the moment, we are only working with a few startups, right? We haven't even touched BFSI as a category, auto as a category, or FMCG as a category. All of these categories have huge spends on marketing. A significant chunk of that spend goes into influencer marketing, right? Similarly, we would want to expand to North Asia in due course. So countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, Japan, Korea, where influencer marketing is even bigger than what we see in India. And why is that? Because all of these markets, you have something called TikTok Shop, right? Now, TikTok Shop allows you to use influencers to drive purchases, track conversions, and make it a part of your ongoing marketing budget, which doesn't exist in India, right? So, and as a result, influencers are fairly big. A large chunk of the spending goes into them, and that spend is only increasing as the number of brands increase in those markets. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice.
All right. I'm seeing no other. Yeah, I'm seeing no other questions. So we will thank you, Mohit, for that lovely presentation. Congratulations again on hitting the 1 million mark. And then we have Piyush from Moneyflow.
Hi, I'm here.
Piyush, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Right. I'll share my screen. Okay. Is my screen visible?
It
I
is.
hope.
Yes.
All right. I'll start with the recap of the product, the market, and the fit for us. I've consolidated this from all the previous sessions into one slide. So when I break down the components of PMF, the product for us is a unit economics and reconciliation engine. What we do is basically put all your data together into a unified view so that you're always on top of your business. We help you with the target customer. We help them with end-to-end workflows like return management, reconciliation, P&L building, channel level differences in charges, which is we are calling variance. So channel level charges variance. And finally, we do provide some intelligent services. That is basically insights, recommendations, better decision-making capabilities so that you can grow your business or plug your leakages better. When we talk about the market for us is basically e-commerce sellers or consumer brands that are directly selling or they are selling via platform. We are fine with either. Generally, we want them to be of a little bit of scale. So they should be doing more than 10 crores in annual GMV of sale. And preferably people who would be open to us. So they are open to a tech-enabled solution to improve their efficiency. So it's not a product for people who are starting to sell on online market, but people who are already doing it for some time and have achieved some scale. From the fit point of view, a fit is basically when the customer feels we have reduced their headaches. They are giving us their word of mouth. They're talking about us to their peers or maybe their family members, and they provide us with referrals. So that's where the good fit for us lies. So that's like a very consolidated view. I'll go deeper into this. So how are we measuring product market fit? To be honest, as of now, I'm not happy with the way we are measuring it. The leading metrics are product usage. For us, till date, we have processed 4.7 million orders. The lagging indicator, the clients delayed after 3 months or word of mouth, is something we say that, okay, this customer is happy with us now. For us, the ideal definition of product market fit would be coming from that superhuman log, which is basically how many of our clients will feel that if Moneyflow shuts down today, how many of our clients will be affected, that they'll be saying that, okay, come back. That's actually the real measure. And to be honest, I don't know how to measure that today. Open to suggestions for that. Particularly, the superhuman blog was catering to a B2C audience. We are a B2B company. So how do we adapt that metric to B2B, given that we'll never have hundreds of customers, at least in the near view. And the way superhuman blog measured it, basically a new cohort every time they did it. So moving back to the content, do you think you have achieved product market fit? No. We have, if we talk about a low, medium, high product market fit, we are somewhere low to mid, I would say. Some clients are extremely happy and they had exactly this pain point, but not everybody that we reach out to has this pain point. So we are still finding where our product is a essential to have and not a good to have. We are still exploring that. What steps are you taking to achieve product market fit is basically talking to larger customers, because with larger customers, this pain point is more obvious and a few other pain points come back. We are figuring out more critical use cases and where they value us more. For example, returns workflow or variance is some places that customers only told us that this is a pain and you build this. Finally, understanding the form factor and level of problem solving our customer needs from us. Form factor basically means, do they want dashboards or do they want information on WhatsApp, email, or maybe chat format? What format is more conducive to them? Level of problem solving is basically, do they want us to provide the information or do they want us to take over the whole activity, that you manage all my returns or you manage the online part of returns? What level are they comfortable or what level are they looking for? So that is an ongoing discussion for us. Signs of product market fit. We have some indicators, but not fully there. Like I said, we have a, I would say, low PMF kind of situation. Some customers are extremely happy. When I say that, it basically means that some of the customers, even before us telling them about what Moneyflow does, they came back to us with this problem that I am not able to reconcile my data, or we have returns management problem, or I feel that I'm getting overcharged by the platforms. How do I find that out? Like managing that much data is difficult. Second question, your buyers articulate how the product makes your life easy. Some buyers have articulated the exact need, like I said, but our biggest problem is that not everybody has this pain. So identifying the right segment where this pain point is, or how do we make our like appeal broader, is something that we are working on. Till now, we don't have our largest clients that we have that would have multiple orgs. I'm not talking about like 10% e-commerce operation. Those are still a bit new, a few months old relationship for us. So we haven't yet probed into that are other teams utilizing it or not. Good thing is that we are getting some good word of mouth. We see from time to time on some of the D2C channels that people are recommending us. Our first bigger client, like a client bigger than 100 crore GMV, came to us inbound via word of mouth. And we even didn't know where it came from. We had to trace it back. So that is something that's good for us. Or like it's a good sign for us. I'm not sure if it's called mud, if we are at the PMF stage yet, but it's a good sign. Other questions, you have customers in different industries with similar use case. That's true. Any person selling online on e-commerce platforms, their own website, Amazon, whatever, and they have crossed a certain GMV, they find this kind of trouble, whether they are operating in beauty products, fashion products, they are doing electronics. This use case is broad across different kinds of, I would say, consumer brands. When your customers are willing to be your reference. So this is some has been going right. Next question. We got one of our paying clients current 3 trials and one very large incoming trial because of word of mouth and references from our existing customers. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, okay, good. So those early days, Piyush, but very pragmatic, and that's excellent. We have questions coming in from Rajiv.
Yes, Rajiv.
Hi. So I don't know where to begin. Can you just take me to your first slide? It's very interesting that you have put 3, sections over there: product, market, and fit. But when I listen to your total presentation, I have a feeling that you haven't understood the meaning of these 3 words. Okay, so what exactly made me think is because your statement coming in saying that no, we have not achieved a product market fit fully. Okay, so normally when we develop a product, we don't build a product and find a market for it. Okay, we find a innovation, try to understand how it services a need or a want in a customer, and then start building it. If you don't build the product first and then find a market, that is one thing. So your market, okay, let me take for example, we all use footwear. So technically 99% of the population on the earth could be your market. No, it isn't. When you develop a product, a footwear, there could be different styles of footwear, there could be different price, design, use case, utility, and only that part of the market that finds this product useful and is willing to pay for it is your market. Okay, so as you said, anyone who sells online could be a customer. No, it isn't. Only those people who are willing to pay for it and find the value of the product are your market. So you need to understand what is a market. Okay, and when you talk about fit, that's how you understand how the product or how your service fits into their larger scheme of things. Okay. So I'm sure you may have the right answers in your mind, but in your presentation, these confusing things come up. Now, on the demo day, you should be very crisp, you should be to the point, and you should not give any room for any questions or doubts in the mind of your audience. And your target audience is, there might be about, say, let's say 100 investors or people, strategic partners. There would be about 10 of them who would be the right people for you. And your communication, your presentation is to them, not to the 100 people, that 10 people, right? So I think the way you articulated, I had a lot of doubts. I mean, this is early days, but still, these are some things that you need to look at. Just comments, that's all. Thank you.
Got it. Just a follow-up question on this, Rajiv. This particular statement that I had mentioned, like over here, open to tech-enabled solutions to improve their efficiency or plug leakages. So we are very bottom line focused, and that's why we said that only people who have scaled a little bit and then they have a lot of leakages, and those leakages have become a little bit bigger.
I got it. Understood that. And one more thing, do you have a screen somewhere else?
Yes, I do. I have a dual screen setup.
So when you make a presentation, please don't do that.
Okay.
You should have the screen in front of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a customer or an investor presentation, that's very important that you look at us and speak. Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the feedback.
Rajiv, we have Tirumala next.
One quick point. It was nice to see that your customers are giving good feedback. They are asking you for more different adjacent solutions, as well as they're also referring and talking about what you're offering, right? So these are good indicators. And you also talked about superhuman and how to use that kind of measurement technique to a B2B category like this, right? And there is a video I had forwarded in that chat chain where in that video, in the YouTube video towards the end, he talks about how to do it for a B2B situation as well. I mean, you take different personas, do that survey and then collect the feedback. But when you are measuring or analyzing that feedback, do it by personas.
Okay.
It is a economic buyer or a technical buyer or a user or whatever, but you do that feedback assessment through that personas.
Got it.
Right. Another point I wanted to bring to your attention is, I mean, it's good that your customers are asking for more. I want invoice reconciliation or whatever XYZ, right? But the catch here is that ask coming from your core segment? I mean, whatever are the super users or power users, or is it coming from outside that? Or is it coming from your core target persona or coming from outside that, right?
Got it.
That becomes important. If it is within that, then you can double down on it. If it is outside that, then you have to think through it.
Got it. Just to answer that, we have recently, like at least in the last 3-4 weeks, started only focusing on the power users. And when I say power users, these are brands that are like doing 500 that like one brand has a valuation of 500 million, another brand is like doing 8% of Myntra. Like that's the biggest
Right.
there is. So luckily we have found inroads over there. And because we know that this is a big brand, and if they are facing this issue at this scale, all other issues and like companies that they are referring us to and similar companies that they have recently just connected with, fortunately, most of that happened in the last 2-3 months. They have similar issues or they have pointed out. So we have started to streamline a little bit over there. But yes, this problem does come to us that we get multiple requests. They ask us to build overlapping features with OMSs or WMSs, for example, reconcile by inventory also. But there's a separate software for that. So today, as of now, we have been like avoiding that conversation with that kind of client.
There is a catch here. I mean, you can get one Amazon or one Walmart as client, but can you build a product business around that, right? They might ask so many things. So at your stage, what is the size of the accounts that is your ideal target spot, right? Even categorizing that and optimizing your product efforts around that is also important. I mean, otherwise a large account will say, I need XYZ, everything. And you go on building it and customizing it, it becomes a hugely different exercise.
Makes sense.
Right, Tirumala, great points, all of them. I think we've had a discussion this evening, but we are sitting at 20:15, almost like 8:15, 15 minutes to go, and we have 3 more presentations to be made. So I think we'll just be very much on time here. Otherwise, it's going to eat up our dinner times. All right. So
no more questions.
No more questions. I thought those points were so interesting.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So we have Goldfish next, Tanmay, and my apologies for not following the alphabetical order here, but the next 2 will be.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm Tanmay and I have Vivek with me. We represent Goldfish. So we are a new age digital warehousing and supply chain company, specifically focusing on omni-channel, that is 3PL and e-commerce. So straight away, diving into the PMF pyramid. So what we have done is we have approached the product market fit from our flagship service, and we have divided it into 2 parts. One is the physical service, the actual service which the customer is purchasing, which is the warehousing and the supply chain service. And then there is the technology part or the app that we want to build. The app or the tech is actually like the icing on the cake. But the customer is actually buying the service from us. So I'll be talking more about the service right now. So on the product side, the UX is obviously going to be on the tech side when we build it, which is the mobile app that will enable order management. In the feature set, the service as part of the service, the feature that we are offering is distributed shared warehousing. That is number 1. Number 2 is the ability to do omni-channel fulfillment. And the third part is marketplace optimization. The value that the customer will get using these feature sets is essentially an increase in sales. We have seen up to 30% growth and reduction in supply chain costs, a saving of up to 15% that we have seen. On the tech side, the features obviously will be live inventory, reports. The value proposition for the customer would be the single source of truth. And on the market side, the underserved needs that we have identified is basically fragmented operation for omni-channel and a CFA model, which is force-fitted into e-commerce operation, specifically for the large brands. And the target customer that we are talking about are traditional brands and D2C brands. How are we measuring the product market fit? So some of the criteria that were mentioned. So are multiple customers buying our products? So the flagship product that I just spoke about, we have pitched it to about 6 customers and all the 6 customers have converted and they are paying customers for us. Though we have worked with more than 150 customers over the past 3 years, but they were availing only a part of the entire flagship service that we are offering. So, either storage or 3PL. But 6 customers are the ones who have actually bought the flagship product from us. We have a direct voice of customer from one of our large clients, which is PowerMax. And that is the example that I quoted, that they have been able to increase their sales by 30% and reduce their supply chain cost by 15% using our model. Are multiple teams within an organization using the product? Not yet. It's not really applicable for our case. It's only the supply chain people who are involved in this. Do you have customers in different industries? So yes, the customers that we have converted are manufacturers, they are D2C brands, and they are importers across categories like fitness, furniture, and personal care. Customers have given us references, but there is no like a direct conversion where a customer has helped us convert another customer. That is something that we have still not observed.
A minute more.
Yeah. So this is my last slide. So do you think that you have achieved product market fit? So not yet. The initial proof of concept is something that we have done. We know that this works for heavy and bulky product categories like treadmills. We need to work with more clients across different kinds of categories and fine tune the product features based on their feedback. The good thing that we have done is that across the organization, at an order level, we have instilled a case capture process where we are capturing the voice of customer and the outlier cases to try and understand what goes on in providing this service. The steps we are planning to take to achieve product market fit is basically try and acquire more customers in the traditional brands and the D2C brand space across different kinds of categories. We are looking at furniture, consumer durables, home appliances, FMCG, and fashion as different categories to try and see whether the concept is applicable and is successful for them as well. So that's all I had to present today. Open to any questions.
Thanks, Tanmay. Any questions? No questions?
Sorry, I was on mute, Mona. The comment I only wanted to make was you need to first go and validate whether all your first 5 customer sets have similar needs. And do you want to build for all 5 of them together, spread thin, or focus on 1 or 2 or 3 and satisfy them first? I leave the decision to you. Last time also I felt you are going everywhere, spreading yourself thin. Today also, I'm just asking you to figure out whether you want to go everywhere now. Your target market would be everywhere, but where will your initial focus be and whom will you satisfy is the question.
Yeah, so the 5 or 6
no answers needed, Tanmay. I'm just leaving this thought with you.
Okay.
We'll see how you want to move over a period of time as we hear you in next week or 2.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Thanks, Tanmay. If there are no other questions, then I'll invite Tiny Crows Supreet to come in.
Yeah, Vibhor will be presenting from Tiny Crows.
So your logo is reversed again.
Oh,
like
is it?
previous times. Yes, it is.
I changed it.
That is a mega crow. Mega fault.
Wow.
Okay. Is my screen visible?
Vibhor, yes.
Okay.
And it's a blank screen.
Yes. So the blank screen is because I wanted to get all of your attention because we are the second last in this discussion. So today we'll start with talking about cybersecurity facts. So for global businesses, we see cyber attack is the biggest risk, right? According to PwC risk survey. And what World Economic Forum has to say about it is like 43% of all of these attacks are on SMBs. So how SMBs are solving this problem today? They are relying on on-demand assessment. But does it solve the problem? No. Why? Because product always have incremental changes. We are now into agile methodology. So that risk opens some risk. If you are doing assessments of all incremental projects, then it's going to increase your time and cost to secure a product, right? So, but large enterprises have solution to this. So what they are doing is they have a defined security program which ensures your product, your business meet risk acceptance level. But SMBs can't do that because they lack expertise, resources, and awareness, right? So this is where Tiny Crows comes in. We help through our services, digital dependent business who want to secure their businesses by providing a program which can help reduce risk, time, and cost to secure applications, unlike the on-demand assessments. So on the right-hand side, I have ideal customers, and on the left-hand side, I have visionary customers. So how our ideal customers look like is small, medium enterprises, which are tech shops or handling critical businesses, maybe like banking, NBFC, healthcare, and life science. User would be security professional or development professionals, and buyer would be CXO or CISOs. But for small companies, this can be seen, right? And on the left-hand side, you see visionary customers. So if we have in business security aware leadership, then it becomes easy to help them understand how a service is going to help them. Then businesses who are handling critical applications and who have compliance requirements, because if you have compliance requirement, then going to focus on security more than just from the risk side of it. So how does the market look like today in year 2024? Application security has $33.7 billion market, which is expected to increase by $55 billion by 2029. So now let's get straight into it, what we are doing different than the regular approach. So we have a security program of which key ingredients are, if you see on the below the defined framework, we have professionals whose expertise can be leveraged by multiple businesses, and the labs and tools. This all would be leveraged through a tool. Multiple clients can request services, and our platform and our experts can provide the solution of it. So how's the roadmap being so far for us? So in the last year, we have developed our services, standard operating procedures, tools. We have onboarded few customers. We are understanding market, joining more and more security events and events where there's a talk about security and these type of solutions. Now our focus is on designing the platform, which would be rolled out this year, so that we can scale our business. What are PMF measuring factors? Very simple and easy. Customers who repurchase or renew our services, continuous feedbacks on how our services are helping solve their pain points, and then if they refer us to other potential customers. So how PMF journey has been so far for us? So we have services being catered to multiple industries, but similar services, right? So we are serving to CRM, fintech, logistics, and also banks, which is not listed here. We are 9 months in business, and this is early to, it's early for us to see PMF signs, because it almost takes 3 months to convert a business for us, right? From the date of talking and then, initializing everything, it takes almost 3 months. 60% of customers have shown interest in expanding the scope of work who are right now. And, the general feedback we receive from a customer is we have good quick response time and cost effectiveness. So with that, thank you, and open to questions.
Thanks, Vibhor. Couple of hands raised, but before we get into questions, I just wanted to understand if Vaibhav, Wave Energy, they are in the house, because if not, then we can spend some more time on questions. Participant list.
I think they may not be there, because I spoke to Vaibhav in the afternoon.
Right.
And he mentioned that he's just come back from Bharuch from a customer visit, and it might be very difficult for him to present.
So I was asking some questions earlier. I saw Vaibhav Singh as asking questions. So anyway.
No, I think let's leave him out today.
I don't see him now.
No,
I don't see him now, and we have 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes minutes. So, well, thanks for that. Or Rajiv has a question. Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, how are you selling your service or product to your customers? Are you doing it directly or how is it done? Yeah.
Channel partners.
So, what kind of channel partners are
there
you?
are basically two
trying to
types. So
build?
we are focusing on Indian market. So when you go to Indian market, what they look for is in certain empaneled vendors. So certain empaneled vendors who don't offer the type of service we offer. One is that, and second is who offer compliance and audit related issues where this requirements arise after doing the assessments.
Yeah. So, are you talking to consultants?
Yes. Like consultant,
Okay.
as in individual consultants who help with the audit part.
Individual or firms.
Yes.
So when you look at small and lower middle sector industries, they would basically talk to individuals or small consultants, maybe partnership firms and all that.
Right.
And as they go bigger, then they go for firms, companies.
Right.
But consultants. I think you need to talk to them a little more deeper because they are the guys who will basically tell you what are the kind of services or how the design of your product and service should be done. Because they are the guys they are the influencers and they are the consultants, and they are the guys who basically go and tell the customer, how to develop your product and how to implement them. And they are the guys who are going to mostly use your product also when it comes to audit and reporting and things like that. I think that's your actual channel partner. Okay, not vendors.
Right.
And they'll give you much better feedback on your product market fit as well as your development roadmap, growth roadmap, all that. It's easier to manage a team of consultants, create a community of consultants rather than look at customers directly. The second thing is that you should also go and go to communities, right? SMB communities. There are clusters, and there are a lot of conferences and conclaves happening, getting them together. You should talk to them. That's when you have a collective, feedback over there. Maybe give out some kind of, 1 month trial or things like that, just to get the feedback. Right? Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
So just to add to that, Rajiv, so this type of service that we are offering in this domain is something already being consumed by large enterprises. So we are creating new market for small and medium businesses, and your point is very valid. Like, we should reach out to these people and see if the platform and the services fit it appropriately.
Yeah.
At the SMB community, there is a feeling that there is a need for this product in the community. So, you should. Thank you.
Yeah, just to add on to a couple of points that were made earlier, Rajiv, great points. So Vibhor, I agree with that factoid that you shared about, cybercrime being considered very high on the list of risks. In fact, if you look at the banking sector, it's considered to be number one. I mean, and terrorism is number two, because it's the international mafia which is behind this entire cybercrime business. Now, I also understand from the sector that there is a very clear focus on SMBs. So that is small and micro businesses. I think in your deck you also mentioned SMEs, which can stand for small and medium enterprises. So somewhere we need to be very clear whether the target segment is SMB or SME. And both have been, the sector has been looking at it. The banking sector, the financial sector has been looking at it. The fintech and the payment sector. I would talk about the payment sector because they have taken it as a priority. If you look at Visa, MasterCard,
Amex, all of them have taken the SMB sector as a huge priority, and they have been supporting them in terms of precisely the kind of solutions that you're providing. So how do you look at engaging with
Sorry, your
these
voice is
large,
breaking. Sorry, your voice is
them
breaking
reaching
for me.
out to so a payment sector, whether it's Visa, MasterCard, Amex, they have made SMBs a priority in various ways, and this is one of the ways. And I see a large, a large space for you where you can possibly engage with them and support their SMBs, because directly the large enterprises may not be able to reach out to the kind of SMBs that they would really like to and they have budgeted for. So is that something you have on the cards?
The last question, is it about like the last part, is it about like, the small or medium sized businesses but might not have that budget of getting this secured? So is it something we are covering, if I get it correctly?
Is it a small and medium business or small and micro businesses?
It's a small and medium business. We are looking for small and medium enterprises. Yes.
Because the large enterprises are looking at, so SMBs in the amongst the largest players, that stands for small and micro businesses.
Right.
And SMEs is your medium.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So,
Got it.
just to add to what you are saying, so I led security of Global Pay Plus, which is actually, a product which actually handles all the banking transactions in the backend, right? Whether it's for Bank of America or any other bank, right? It's a Finister product. So I led security of it. And I see when they, the customers or bank or fintech companies buying these products, they have a lot of questions on how this product is going to handle security like very correctly, and then they do their own assessments. There are a whole lot of discussions which are keep on happening throughout the year, right? So you are very right about that. And I see these large enterprises already have the solution in place, but let's say when we go to medium-sized business or we go to small medium-sized businesses, they still don't have practices which can ensure their security is like there's a continuous security, a continuous support they can get from a dedicated team. The reason might be because they have some sort of team but not a fully operational working model of it, or maybe they don't have it at all. So we are building that as a service.
Got it, Vibhor. Yes, maybe we can discuss a bit offline as well on this.
Yeah.
Because I know there are some budgets that perhaps you can use. Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So any other questions? Otherwise, we are sitting at 20:35, and it's been a really, really lovely session today. At least I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you so much.
Well, I just need
And
to
just a suggestion. Sorry, and just a suggestion. Maybe we can pick the startups we got in the end today in the beginning, so that they can be a more fuller discussion for them.
Or we should randomize it, maybe for future.
So we are looking at different permutations.
2 days A to Z, one day Z to A, today again back to A to Z. Next time we'll probably do in the order of founders title.
Yeah, the only person who's going to suffer from that is Weber or Wave. So Wave and Weber both are V's.
No, but maybe Singh will help. But I take your point, Rohit, clearly, and especially because look, what I was going to say is we've had these 3 involved sessions, and a lot of discussion which was coming up today. A common theme was, have we really given a thought to who's my customer, or have I segmented my customer well? Look, time and again, I'm not pointing to any one startup, but maybe more than 60-70% of it are either trying to satisfy everybody on this earth. Maybe your target customers or target market tomorrow will be that. But to get you more focused and get what you're talking about more focused, it maybe makes sense to pick that ideal customer and a customer segmentation and what do you need unique for that segmentation kind of a discussion coming in your presentation. So before we get into the next series of discussions will be on sales and sales strategy and what is your beachhead strategy and how to build funnels. So before we get into it, the thought is that we sort of do customer, product market fit, and a bit of what's your differentiation with your competition in. More or less the template is fine. You just need to probably add the product. Some people didn't bring in the product features chart here. Some people didn't present the customer chart here, but bring these things together and let's have a discussion again on this, because we all believe that if you know these fundamentals well, then you will spend your energy or your dollars in the right direction when you get into the sales strategy and the sales direction, right? So get you more focused in the right place so that when we have discussion in sales strategy, we have it with that in mind. So nothing, you don't need to go and do too much of reading again on the Caliber. Kshitish doesn't need to move Caliber to the next week. We'll use this, just supplement it with your product features and competitive differentiation chart. And let's have this discussion in the reverse, maybe reverse order next week so that we can talk more with Vaibhav and Vibhor and company to start with. Sounds okay?
Yep.